You know what they say about first impressions? Well, if you're a six-eyed purple blob named Zektar, working as a janitor on the most pretentious space station in the galaxy, your first impression is basically, ew, what is that thing, and why is it breathing our recycled air? Welcome to the Golden Nebula, folks. The kind of luxury space station where the toilet paper costs more credits than most planets' annual budgets, and the guests treat the staff like there's some kind of cosmic infection. Picture this: gleaming chrome corridors, holographic art that probably costs more than your home planet, and aliens so rich they literally have their servants' servants. And then there's Zektar. Poor guy looks like someone took a grape, inflated it to human size, gave it 6 googly eyes, and said, "Congratulations, you're now the universe's least popular employee." He's got these stubby little arms that barely work, a voice that sounds like he's permanently stuffed up, and the kind of face that makes other aliens cross the corridor just to avoid eye contact. All 6 eyes worth of contact. Every morning Zektar slithers out of his cramped maintenance quarters, grabs his cleaning supplies, and begins another delightful day of being treated like sentient garbage. The passengers, oh, they're a real treat. You've got Lord Quibbleblex, who literally steps on Zektar's tentacles and acts like it's Zektar's fault for being in the way. There's Duchess Volandra, who holds her breath and covers her nose whenever Zektar's within 50 feet, as if being purple and blob-shaped is somehow contagious. "Move it, space mutt," they say. "Get out of the way, cosmic garbage." Real creative stuff, these galactic aristocrats. The worst part? Zektar actually does his job well. While these pampered aliens are busy complaining about their champagne not being bubbly enough, he's keeping their precious station running. Every surface spotless, every system maintained, every problem quietly fixed before they even notice it exists. But do they care? About as much as they care about the feelings of their diamond-encrusted shoes. Day after day, Zektar scrubs floors while listening to aliens discuss him like he's not even there. Honestly, why do they even hire these hideous creatures? I heard his species smells like sulfur. Someone should put it out of its misery. Yeah, real classy universe. Real classy. But here's the thing about being invisible, about being treated like you don't matter. You see everything, you hear everything, and eventually, you start remembering everything. And Zektar? Well, he's been remembering for a very, very long time. Now, if you thought the regular passengers were bad, wait until you meet Captain Vexazillion. Picture a walking chandelier that somehow developed an ego problem and a gambling addiction. This guy is literally made of living crystal, which means he sparkles when he walks and makes annoying chiming sounds when he talks. He's also got the personality of a black hole, sucking all the joy out of any room he enters. Captain Vexazillion runs the Golden Nebula like his personal kingdom, and guess who's at the very bottom of his feudal system? That's right, our purple friend Zektar. So there's Zektar doing his usual Tuesday routine of scrubbing the main promenade, when Captain Sparkles decides to hold court right there in front of everyone. The passengers gather around like it's some kind of entertainment, which honestly for these people, public humiliation probably counts as dinner theater. "Ladies and gentlemen," Captain Vexazillion announces, his voice chiming like broken wind chimes, "I want you all to observe our station's finest example of why some species should have stayed extinct." Oh, how original. Really pushing the boundaries of creative insults there, Captain. But wait, it gets better. This walking disco ball actually kicks Zektar while he's scrubbing, sending cleaning supplies flying everywhere. The crowd laughs. They actually laugh like watching someone get kicked while they're working is peak comedy. "Clean that up too. Waste of space." Vexazillion chimes smugly, "And try not to contaminate the air with your presence while you do it." Now here's where things get interesting. While Zektar is down there collecting his scattered supplies, he notices something. Captain Vexazillion's personal communicator falls out of his ornate belt, and being the diligent janitor he is, Zektar picks it up. Except, oops, it accidentally activates. And double oops, there are messages on there. Messages from someone called the Void Syndicate about gambling debts. Big gambling debts. The kind that end with kneecaps getting broken, if aliens had kneecaps. Apparently, our glittering captain owes about 50 million credits to some very unfriendly people, and payment is due in 3 days. The messages get progressively more threatening, with phrases like cosmic concrete shoes and airlock accidents. Zektar hands back the communicator with his usual submissive bow, but something has changed in those 6 purple eyes. For the first time in his miserable career, Zektar has information. Real, valuable, potentially life-changing information. As Captain Vexazillion continues his public humiliation show, calling Zektar everything from sentient slime to the universe's mistake, something clicks in our purple hero's blob-like brain. He's done. Done being kicked, done being invisible, done being everyone's favorite punching bag. Time for a career change. Okay, pop quiz time. What do you call a species that looks like a rejected science experiment, but has survived for over 10 million years, in a galaxy full of things trying to kill them? That's right, you call them underestimated. Meet the Blobinari folks, ancient race, older than most star systems, and supposedly extinct for the last 1,000 years. Supposedly being the key word here, because clearly someone forgot to tell Zektar about his species' obituary. Now here's the thing about the Blobinari that makes them absolutely terrifying to anyone with half a brain. They don't just clean things, they absorb them. Every surface Zektar touches, every system he maintains, every piece of technology he comes into contact with. Yeah, he's been downloading all of that information directly into his blob-like consciousness. Think of it like this: while everyone else needs instruction manuals and training courses, the Blobinari just touch something once and suddenly they know everything about it. How it works, how to fix it, how to improve it, and most importantly how to completely destroy it. For the past 5 years, Zektar has been the Golden Nebula's unwitting system administrator, security expert, maintenance chief and technical support all rolled into one purple, underappreciated package. He knows every circuit, every password, every backdoor, and every vulnerability in the entire station. But wait, there's more. Remember how everyone treats him like he's invisible? Well, turns out that's actually a Blobinari survival trait. They can modulate their biosignature to become essentially undetectable to most scanning systems. What everyone thinks is just pathetic submissiveness is actually advanced camouflage. The only person who ever figured out something was different about Zektar was Commander Rex, the station's head of security. Rex is this old grizzled warrior from the Canine sector, looks like someone mixed a German shepherd with a space marine, and he's got the kind of street smarts that come from actually fighting in wars instead of just talking about them at cocktail parties. Rex was the only one who ever said please and thank you to Zektar. The only one who noticed that somehow, mysteriously, problems got fixed before they were even reported. The only one who wondered how a simple janitor always seemed to be in exactly the right place, at exactly the right time. You're not what you appear to be, are you? Rex asked Zektar one day, while he was cleaning the security office. Zektar just did his usual submissive bob and continued scrubbing, but Rex caught something in those 6 purple eyes. Recognition, intelligence, and maybe just a hint of something that looked a lot like patience. So while Captain Vexillion and his crystalline cronies have been treating Zektar like cosmic garbage, our purple friend has been quietly becoming the most knowledgeable being on the entire station. Every insult, every kick, every humiliation has been filed away along with technical specifications and security protocols. The Blobinari have a saying. The universe belongs to those who wait, and Zektar, well, he's done waiting. You know what's beautiful about revenge? When it's done right, your targets don't even realize they're being destroyed until it's way too late. And Zektar? This guy wrote the masterclass on subtle sabotage. It starts small, really small. Like so small that these pampered aliens think it's just bad luck. Day 1 of Operation Purple Revenge begins with Lord Quibbelex's morning routine getting a little adjustment. See, his luxury suite has a gravity generator that can be calibrated to specific comfort levels. Quibbelex likes his gravity at exactly 0.8 standard because anything higher might actually require him to exercise those atrophied muscles of his. So naturally, Zektar bumps it up to 1.3 standard. Suddenly, Lord Quibbelex can barely get out of bed. His morning routine of floating gracefully to his golden toilet becomes a crawling, wheezing adventure. The best part, the system diagnostics show everything is working perfectly. Must be solar interference, the technicians tell him. While Zektar scrubs the floor nearby, his 6 eyes twinkling with what might be mistaken for innocence. But wait, there's more. Duchess Valandra. Remember her, the one who holds her breath around Zektar like he's personally responsible for air pollution. Well, her food synthesizer starts getting creative. Instead of her usual diet of imported delicacies that cost more than small starships, she's suddenly receiving a steady stream of what can only be described as nutrient-paced surprise. The surprise is that it tastes like feet. Alien feet. That have been walking through swamps. This is unacceptable, she shrieks, throwing the gray slop across her pristine dining room. I demand you fix this immediately. The maintenance crew runs diagnostics. Everything checks out perfectly. The synthesizer is functioning within normal parameters, it's just somehow interpreting crystallized nebula caviar as genuine authentic garbage flavor. Meanwhile, Zektar is in the next corridor, innocently mopping while listening to every beautiful moment of her meltdown. Day 2 brings escalation. The entertainment system in the main lounge starts playing children's educational songs instead of the sophisticated classical music these aliens pretend to enjoy. Picture this, Captain Vexazillion trying to conduct a serious business meeting while the alphabet song of Sector 7 plays on endless repeat in the background. His crystalline form literally vibrates with rage, creating a sound like wind chimes having a nervous breakdown. Who is responsible for this incompetence? He demands, his voice hitting frequencies that make nearby glassware crack. The answer, of course, is the purple blob methodically cleaning the air vents above them, having a grand old time watching these superior beings lose their minds over minor inconveniences. But Zektar's real masterpiece comes on day 3. See, the Golden Nebula's climate control system is a work of art. It maintains perfect temperature, humidity and atmospheric composition throughout the entire station. It's also incredibly complex, with over 10,000 individual sensors and adjustment points. Zektar knows them all, so he creates what you might call microclimate zones of discomfort. Lord Quibbelex's corridor becomes a tropical sauna. Duchess Valandra's suite turns into an Arctic tundra. The main dining hall alternates between desert heat and freezing cold every 30 minutes. The passengers are going absolutely insane. They're demanding answers, threatening lawsuits, calling for investigations. The maintenance staff is working around the clock. But here's the beautiful part, every time they think they've found the problem, it moves somewhere else. Because Zektar isn't just sabotaging systems randomly. He's conducting a symphony of chaos, timing each malfunction perfectly to create maximum frustration while staying just below the threshold of actual danger. He's not trying to hurt anyone, just make their lives as unpleasant as they've made his. Captain Vexazillion is climbing the walls, or at least he would be if his crystalline structure allowed for wall climbing. His paranoia is reaching epic proportions. He's convinced there's a saboteur on board, maybe even a spy from the Void Syndicate come to collect early. Search everyone, he orders Commander Rex. Someone is doing this deliberately. And Rex, being the professional he is, dutifully organizes security sweeps. But funny thing, every time they search an area, Zektar just happens to be there doing his cleaning duties, looking as harmless and pathetic as ever. Sir, Rex reports back. We've found no evidence of sabotage. All systems show normal operational parameters. It might just be cosmic bad luck. The irony is delicious. The most powerful being on the station is the one they all treat like dirt, and he's systematically driving them crazy one minor inconvenience at a time. But the real beauty of Zektar's plan, he's just getting started. You know what they say about timing? It's everything. And Zektar's timing is about to become absolutely perfect. Because guess who just showed up at the Golden Nebula's docking bay unannounced? That's right, the Void Syndicate has come calling. Picture this, 3 massive black ships that look like someone took nightmares and gave them engines. They don't request docking permission, they don't follow protocols, they just clamp onto the station like cosmic leeches and start cutting through the airlocks. The passengers are having what you might generously call a collective panic attack. These pampered aliens have never seen real danger in their lives. And suddenly their luxury cruise has turned into a hostage situation. Captain Vexazillion is in his command center, literally vibrating with terror. His crystalline form is changing colors faster than a disco ball, cycling through every shade of panic the visible spectrum allows. Activate the defense systems, he orders. His voice cracking like cheap crystal, Commander Rex hits the activation controls, and nothing. The weapons systems show green across the board, but they're not responding. The shield generators are offline. Even the emergency lockdown protocols are mysteriously unavailable. Sir, Rex reports, his professional calm barely hiding his concern, all defensive systems are non-responsive. We're completely vulnerable. Now you might be wondering how the station's entire defense network could suddenly fail at exactly the worst possible moment. Well, let me paint you a picture of the last 5 years. Zektar cleaning the weapons bay, absorbing every circuit and protocol. Zektar maintaining the shield generators, learning every override and emergency bypass. Zektar scrubbing the floors of the command center while the crew ran drills, memorizing every security code and activation sequence. The Void Syndicate doesn't mess around. Their boarding party consists of creatures that look like they were assembled from spare nightmare parts and bad attitudes. The leader is this massive thing called Vraktar. Imagine a praying mantis crossed with a tank and given anger management issues. Where is Captain Vexazillion? Vraktar demands, his voice sounding like metal grinding against metal. Payment is overdue, interest is compounding. Patience is expired. The passengers are huddled together like expensive livestock, probably wondering if their insurance policies cover death by cosmic loan sharks. Captain Vexazillion is trying to negotiate, but his voice keeps cracking higher and higher until he sounds like a panicked wind chime. Please, I just need more time, he begs. The passengers have valuables, we can work something out. And that's when Vraktor makes it clear that this isn't just about money anymore. The Void Syndicate is going to strip the station bare, sell the passengers into slavery, and use Captain Vex Ilion as a decorative lamp for their flagship. The situation looks hopeless. The defense systems are down, the crew is outgunned, and the passengers are about as useful in a fight as decorative plants. And then from the back of the crowd comes a sound that nobody expects. Laughter, not hysterical panic laughter, but genuine amused laughter. Everyone turns to see Zektar, still holding his mop, his 6 purple eyes absolutely twinkling with something that definitely isn't fear. Something funny, waste of space. Vraktar snarls, turning his weapon toward the purple blob. Oh, lots of things, Zektar replies, and for the first time in 5 years, his voice doesn't sound submissive. It sounds confident, dangerous. For starters, you all think you're in control here. That's when the lights cut out. Emergency lighting kicks in, bathing everything in red, and suddenly the Golden Nebula doesn't feel like a luxury station anymore. It feels like a trap. What's happening? Captain Vex Ilion shrieks. Life support showing multiple failures. Commander Rex reports, his training keeping him calm even as his instruments go haywire. Gravity generators unstable. Internal sensors offline. But here's the thing. Zektar is still standing there, calm as can be, like he's watching a particularly interesting holovid instead of a life-or-death crisis. You see, he says conversationally, I've been learning this station for 5 years. Every system, every circuit, every little secret pathway and override code. And right now, I'm the only one who knows how to make it work. The reality starts sinking in. The defense systems didn't fail randomly, they were disabled. By someone with complete access and perfect knowledge of every vulnerability. Vraktor raises his weapon, but before he can fire, the artificial gravity cuts out entirely. Everyone starts floating, except somehow Zektar manages to stick to the floor like he's got his own personal gravity field. Allow me to introduce myself properly, Zektar says, his voice carrying clearly through the chaos. I'm not just your janitor, I'm Zektar of the Blobnari, and you've all made a very serious mistake. That's when the real show begins. The station's internal defenses, the ones designed to repel boarders, suddenly come online, but they're not targeting the Void Syndicate anymore. They're protecting everyone except the people who've been treating Zektar like garbage for 5 years. Automated turrets emerge from hidden panels, but instead of firing randomly, they move with surgical precision. Warning shots that herd the Void Syndicate into specific corridors. Force fields that appear exactly where needed to protect the innocent passengers while isolating the threats. The Golden Nebula has become Zektar's weapon, and he's wielding it like a master conductor leading the universe's most dangerous orchestra. Impossible, Vraktor growls. You're just a cleaning drone. Correction, Zektar replies, and now there's something almost terrifying in his cheerful tone. I'm a cleaning drone who's been taking notes. What happens next is basically a masterclass in how to completely obliterate your enemies while barely breaking a sweat. And trust me, if Zekantar could sweat, he wouldn't be breaking any. The Void Syndicate thinks they're tough. Well, they've never faced someone who knows every single weakness in their equipment, because he's been cleaning up after the idiots who built it for the past 5 years. Vrekantar tries to fire his weapon, but surprise, the targeting system goes haywire. Turns out those guns have computerized components. And guess who's been absorbing the technical specifications of every piece of equipment that's ever passed through this station? The shots go wide, hitting walls that suddenly sprout energy-absorbing panels. You see Vrekantar, Zekantar says, casually floating in his personal gravity field while everyone else flails around like cosmic pinballs. Your weapons were manufactured by Grimex Industries. I cleaned their executive suite last year when they visited. Nice guns, terrible security protocols. One by one, the Void Syndicate's weapons start malfunctioning, not exploding, nothing dramatic like that. Just failing, targeting computers showing error messages. Power cells mysteriously draining, trigger mechanisms jamming at exactly the worst moments. Meanwhile, the station's own systems are performing like a symphony orchestra under the direction of a master. Automated repair drones emerge from maintenance shafts, but instead of fixing things, they're carrying improvised weapons cobbled together from cleaning supplies and industrial equipment. This is impossible, Vrekantar roars, trying to smash one of the drones with his bare claws. You're just a pathetic blob. That's pathetic blob with complete administrative access. Thank you very much. Zekantar corrects politely. The beautiful part is watching the passengers' faces. These same aliens who've been calling him space mutt and cosmic garbage are suddenly realizing that their despised janitor is casually dismantling one of the galaxy's most feared criminal organizations. Lord Quibbleblex, still floating helplessly in zero gravity, manages to gasp out, "Zekantar, please, we're sorry. We'll pay you anything." "Oh, now you remember my name." Zekantar chuckles. "Funny how that works." Duchess Volandra, her perfect hair floating around her head like a demented halo, adds her voice to the chorus. "We'll make you rich, we'll give you your own suite." "Your own suite." Zekantar repeats, sounding genuinely amused. "How generous. Tell me, what exactly makes you think I want anything you're offering?" The final blow comes when Zekantar demonstrates just how completely he's mastered the station. The Golden Nebula's communication system comes online, but instead of sending distress signals, it's broadcasting a complete record of Captain Vexilion's gambling debts, the passengers' tax evasion schemes, and about 17 different violations of galactic labor laws. "You're sending this to the authorities." Captain Vexilion's voice reaches frequencies that probably violate several noise ordinances. "Oh, I'm sending it everywhere," Zekantar replies cheerfully. "The Galactic Revenue Service, the Labor Protection Agency, the Better Space Station Bureau. I'm particularly proud of the detailed documentation of workplace harassment. 5 years of recordings, all perfectly preserved. But the real masterpiece, Zekantar doesn't just defeat the Void Syndicate. He recruits them. "Vrakantar," he says conversationally, "your organization needs better management. Less random violence, more strategic thinking. I'm offering you a promotion. Head of Station Security, full benefits, and a salary that doesn't depend on threatening innocent people." The massive alien looks confused, which on a face like his is genuinely terrifying. "You want to hire me?" The Void Syndicate's real problem isn't lack of muscle, it's lack of brains. "Work for me, and I'll show you how to make more money legally than you ever did breaking kneecaps. Plus, full medical coverage and 2 weeks paid vacation." The offer is so absurd that Vrakantar actually considers it. Meanwhile, the other passengers are floating around like expensive debris, finally understanding that their inferior janitor has just become the most powerful person in the sector. "So here's what's going to happen," Zekantar announces, his 6 eyes surveying his former tormentors with benevolent malice. "Captain Vexilion, you're demoted to assistant janitor. Congratulations, you now get to learn what it's like to clean up after people who treat you like dirt." Vexilion's crystalline form goes through about 12 different colors of panic. "You can't do this, I'm the captain." "We're the captain," Zekantar corrects. "I'm filing the paperwork with the station authority right now." Turns out there's a little-known regulation that allows for emergency command transfers when the current captain is, quote, "criminally incompetent, and a danger to station operations." Who knew? The passengers start offering him everything they can think of. Money, titles, their daughter's tentacles and marriage. But Zekantar just waves a stubby purple appendage dismissively. "Here's the thing about respect," he says, his voice carrying the wisdom of someone who spent 5 years being invisible. "You can't buy it, you can't beg for it, and you definitely can't demand it after you've spent years proving you don't deserve it." Commander Rex, who's been watching this entire transformation with professional interest, steps forward. "What are your orders, Captain?" And that's it. That's the moment. Zekantar, the ugly alien dog that everyone neglected and abused, is now Captain Zekantar. Master of the Golden Nebula and commander of a crew that actually respects him. "First order," he says, settling into the captain's chair like he was born for it. "Implement new workplace harassment policies." "Second order, Vrakantar, take your people to the security office and get them properly registered as station personnel." "Third order, everyone who called me Space Mutt in the last 5 years gets to spend a week working maintenance. Maybe they'll learn something about the people who actually keep this place running." As the dust settles and the new order takes shape, there's really only one thing left to say. In a galaxy full of beings who judge others by their appearance, who think power comes from crystals and chrome and fancy titles, sometimes the real strength belongs to the ones you never bothered to notice. Sometimes the ugly alien dog turns out to be the smartest person in the room. And sometimes, just sometimes, the janitor ends up running the whole damn show.